is arguably the craziest month of college football, and games aren't even happening for the vast majority of it. So, just want to recap a little bit of what happened on the football side of things. Um, Decommitments, these are always going to be something that happens when a new coaching staff comes in place, just because guys have great relationships with the old assistant coaches, all sorts of reasons for these different players, but a few big ones in particular. Lincoln East wide receiver Malachi Coleman was among the first to decommit, and in particular, that's one because of Mickey Joseph. His status still uncertain. Everything going through the legal system. Nebraska hasn't hired a wide receivers coach yet, as well. So I mean that's a major thing to consider. Marion Miller, also wide receiver, decommitted from New Orleans, heavily recruited by Joseph. So those two make a lot of sense.
Well, in the relationship aspect of it, and you said it yourself there, but I mean, a lot of these kids in some of these situations are almost committing more to a coach than a school, just for that fit with the. Obviously, there's so many different factors that go into recruiting, but when you've got that comfortability, that familiarity with the guy, and especially Malachi, I mean, even when he committed here, all the writing was on the wall, how big of an impact Mickey Joseph had over the last few months with him. And you look at today, Syracuse is coming to talk to him, Tim Brewster from Colorado, that it's open season. It's college football free agency, essentially, with the transfer portal. But, I mean, you never say never with these kids. There's always that door open for them to come back. But at the same time, especially once Matt had just taken the job and so many assistants were still up in the air, these kids don't know what their immediate future is going to hold. Granted, you always have that option to come back, but if you dip your toe into the portal, you can see what else is out there for you.
Yeah, and I will note in particular for Malachi, he will be taking an official visit to Nebraska this weekend. Still working on building that relationship with Rule and the new coaching staff, but just with an eye towards, what are my other options?
Yeah.
And, looking at those other places.
And that position coach aspect of it does make it tough. And I mean, even, we'll talk about him in a second, but you look at a guy like an Ernest Hausman, that Barrett Ruud's impact, not only recruiting trail, but when you spend that year with him coaching you up, you get that comfortability. He's your guy, so to speak. But on the other end of that, you're going to have that coach that's going to be willing to go to bat for you. He's got a piece of the pie, obviously, since you're the one that recruited the kid. Now he's out the window. How's that new coach going to impact and fit into my game type of thing is what those kids have to go through their heads. So.
Yeah,